So hello guys, today we have the second video on the Blazor Server .NET 7 artificial intelligence app, which was presented on the hackathon, which we are improving now. And today we will have a discussion regarding the AI models and which of them are suitable to use and which which good and weak sides they have. So first of all, probably we have seen the application on the previous podcast. So it's the application for the AI augmented recruiting, which is able, for example, to add the candidate CV via OpenAI and to match the candidate with the vacancy. But we haven't discussed the possible model usages and pricings. So, and it's also a very important topic. So if we go to the documentation, we are interested in the models. So just here and here was the reference on these models, and let's look at it. So in terms of our application, we are interested in either this one, which is completions, but it's obviously marked as legacy and not very good to use. And the second one is the chat completions, so which is more advanced one and which is possible to use both with GPT-4 and GPT 3.5 models. So, but there is no information regarding the pricing of these models. So the pricing is located on the separate page, but we need actually to estimate what's regarding their performance. So either this one, ChatGPT-4, is really worth its money, or we should stick with the GPT 3.5 in some cases. So we can do that just by updating a bit our configuration. So, for example, we will leave the reading of the configuration settings to the production and we'll specify the model manually. And we can choose either this one, GPT 3.5 Turbo, or the GPT-4. So, because if we look at the reference here, so probably it was located somewhere here. So for example, we have the current model and we have some subversions of this model like this one, like this one. So, and in terms of the GPT-4, of course, we have the same scenario. So we have both the current model and we have some specific versions of this model, which this one is marked as legacy at all, and this one probably is not the most recent one. So that's why we can stick just with this naming and this naming for the GPT 3.5. Okay. So, and what needs exactly to be estimated? So first of all, we have updated our candidate detail just to include some additional fields. So for example, this one, in these fields we currently do not have in the exact data model, so we are not going to save the data today, but of course we want to check how exactly the 3.5 and 4 mod and force models treat the data which is which will be the realistic one. So we have the additional property of the salary expectation of the candidate whose CV we will try to parse to this JSON structure. Also we have the language levels, so it's the array of strings. Next we have the employments, and we have the certifications because obviously it's a very important field. So either candidate is a hard learner and obtains the certifications on the regular basis or not. Next, let's specify the one more property. So it would be the GitHub. So because usually the GitHub is often mentioned in the CVs, and also in the future we should save this data to the database just to quickly navigate through this information. Okay, next we are gonna to measure the exact time which is required for both new and old model to generate the chat completion. So here we have a stopwatch just for the result generation. So we are not taking into the account the opening the connection or the retrieval of the message content and so on. So we are just estimating this one. Okay, and let's start the application. And yeah, we need also some realistic data. So that's why we are gonna to navigate to the WorkUA, search for the candidates, and yeah, so we're searching for the .NET developers. Yeah, and of course, while these CVs on this website could be potentially written both in Ukrainian and English, and we are gonna of course translate it to English, so we need to update our prompt forwards. So where do we have this get candidate CV prompt? So let's update. So convert plain text, let it be this way, candidate CV. Candidate CV to the format we are specifying, and extract all the skills, not end. And of course we are gonna to add the the OpenAI instruction to translate to English if this needed, because the part of the CV could be written, for example, in Ukrainian, and of course it would be great if the ChatGPT will translate that. So, and let's look, for example, let's go somewhere to the middle, because we probably have already tested on some candidates. So let's do like something like that. Yeah, should be fine. Okay, so let's start with this one, and we first of all we are testing against yeah, GPT-4. Okay, let it be so, and let's, yeah, we have the breakpoint here. Great. So, and also let's open the Visual Studio Code just to estimate the results, and let it be in the two separate these ones. Okay. Next, let's try to parse this CV with the GPT-4 model. So, and let's see on the, so what will we have in the timing and in the result. So yeah, so what have we got? So first of all we have the elapsed one. So let's copy this value, yeah, and here we will have the result of the ChatGPT 4, and next let's look at the result. So the result is probably pretty good, so let's paste it here. Okay, and here we have the timing. Okay, and next let's restart our application with the GPT 3.5. Yeah, it has started, and let's add just the same CV. So send for interpretation, and let's look. So still waiting, and yeah, what do we have here? Let's copy this value. So this value and the result. And let's investigate how these results differ one from another. So first of all, here on the left side we have the GPT-4 output, and on the right side we have the GPT 3.5. Okay. So the first difference, I have told in the both requests to translate to the English if it is not English, and here we see that it's not translated. Next, okay, so yeah, here we have two different outputs, because here we have the element of English and level, Ukrainian and level, and here we have this model, but we haven't specified the exact structure, so both outputs will be okay. But for example here, employments, yeah, let me see this CV. First let me stop the app. Yeah, so what's very interesting. So, and both models probably have failed because this candidate is not mentioned with any kind of employment, but the fourth model, yeah, has parsed at least one employment, and this model has parsed just the two types of employment which this candidate is ready to take. So yeah, it's 50-50. Okay, so certification, GitHub, yeah, the developer, yeah. Next, education. So what we have in education here, education, very interesting. Did we have the education in the model? Yeah, very interesting. So even we didn't have the education in this model, so the ChatGPT-4 has returned this data. So in terms of education, yeah, and which could potentially impact the person of this response. So yeah, and here of course we do not have the education, and let's compare the technical skill names. So yeah, so these ones are pretty different because the ChatGPT-4 has provided the more complex response, but for example here, when in the soft skill names it has provided the non-conflict which the candidate had in the CV, but the ChatGPT of the legacy version has not provided anything in terms of the soft skills. And if we will look at the timing, so the new model took just 14k milliseconds, and the legacy model has taken even the 23,000. So it's pretty much difference. Okay, but let's have one more test. So because yeah, maybe it was some kind of, not a mistake, but kind of yeah, some test data. So let's search for the more difficult CV and try to parse with each model. So let's search. Yeah, probably this one potentially could be a bit, yeah, more difficult for the OpenAI to understand. Okay. Oh yeah, but what's in terms of employment? Yeah, maybe let's search for another one. Yeah, this one should be much more difficult for the ChatGPT. Okay, so let's start. So we are sending it for the interpretation and waiting for the time to complete. So, and of course, this CV will take much more time because it's partially both in English and Ukrainian, and of course it contains much more data than the previous one. But we have the result, and the time taken is here. And the result is here. So let's copy it and let's do just the same for the GPT 3.5. And let's look at the result. So, and let's try to paste and see what the result will the legacy model provide. So for now, yeah, we are waiting and still waiting. Very interesting. So maybe should we try to retest because it very interesting. Okay, so let's retry. No. Okay, so we have got this value and what do we have in the result? So in the result we have this one, and let's compare this data to the GPT-4 data. So first of all, the name is okay. Next, we have the English level. Okay, here we do not have any English level, so this information is not present in the more legacy model. Next, we have the employments and the employments. Yeah, so the information is quite different across the models because the more recent model has gone with the title company, years of experience, which is pretty good because yeah, so pretty good because it's an informative number. Next, the technical stack. So yeah, it's also pretty useful. And here we see that here we have the job title, company name, start and date, duration, location, and here we have the yeah. So we have the kind of project. So, but for the future, so what we're going to implement is we need to provide the exact structure for these, for example, employments, because just specifying it as a list of string is not very very good way. So we should provide it as the separate DTO with strictly named fields, so like company, title, years of experience, and so on. So because the both the new model and the old model are generating this stuff by their own, which is not great. And next, what we have here, so we have these certifications. Yeah, so both models have interpreted that correctly, but have the different outputs. Next we have the title. Yeah, here we have the missing title and the technical skills. So we have a bit more complex list here. So because we have both the technical skills and we have the technology names here. So and here we do not have these ones. So but the timings are differ even more, up to 5 times for the legacy model. So probably that's the price for the less price of the usage. So, and what do we have in conclusion? So, in these two models. So, probably have stopped this one or not? Yeah, let's stop. So, in conclusion, we have that the most of the information is pretty good interpreted both by GPT 3.5 and GPT-4, the new one. And of course, it could be different in terms of the large contexts, but that's not our case. That's not our case because we are sending just one request and we are getting the response. So we are not interested in very long context for this exact case. But of course, every project and every company is interested in the lowering the prices for the usage, and the ChatGPT 3.5 has much more lower prices. So, and in conclusion, we have that if we are talking regarding the very complex data parsing and maybe some additional transformations like transforming the plain text to the JSON or the translating it or some complex structure and so on. So of course the ChatGPT 4 will cope with this better than the 3.5, but still the 3.5 gets pretty good results. But of course these results are not so accurate as the fourth model, and it takes more time. So it's not the same picture like in the client's GPT application where the GPT 3.5, for example, we are talking regarding the the plus account for the $20 per month. So when the 3.5 model is much faster than the fourth model, because we are talking regarding the API. So in terms of the API, the GPT-4 takes much less time than the 3.5, but of course it takes times more money to be used. So you can easily compare this one to this one. So it's approximately 20 times, and yeah. So that's why, in my opinion, both of these models could be used, but the context of the usage of each one is different. So for more sophisticated and simple tasks, we of course should use and will be using this one. And if we are talking about some complex data interpretation and some complex transformations, of course we should use the newer one, but of course we should use it with care. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this video will be useful for you, and in case of any comments and ideas, please message me. I'm open for discussion, and see you in the next videos regarding the ChatGPT. Yeah, bye.